You know how the Earth was probably formed? That's how I think planets were formed. I'll tell you what I think is the story. Billions of years ago, there was an explosion, yes, created a comet or a meteor. And the pre-Earth was floating through space and collecting debris, metals, all the ones we have, iron, silver, gold, whatever, collecting this stuff, rock, going through space, collect water, plenty of water in space. And if the Earth, primordial Earth, had a magnetic center, it could attract a lot of materials. But just by its size and density, it'll attract materials. And so over, let's say, 1 billion years flying through space, maybe a comet going around and around, maybe a meteor, it grows in mass and collects everything we know. And at some point, the Earth finds a sun, and they meet and joins an orbit because it's big enough and the sun is this, and it gets close enough and it's at the right distance, and everything works together. And we have a liquid center in the Earth and not a solid one like the other dead planets. We have tons of water, and as the sun warms up the Earth, the old Earth, we develop an atmosphere and water and so on, and then life is spawned, and then we have the atmosphere. And I think that's how it all started. And it makes sense that the Earth started, and this makes sense that it's a globe and not any other shape, because if you have a center and you're pulling your gravity from the surface, well, part of the Earth is like mountains. Some of the oceans are deeper. You know, and there's a little bit of change. It's not all solid, round, bowling ball shaped. And so there will be some irregularities so they say that the globe is just a little bit, and that makes sense to accommodate. But it's still, everything has to be even. And so probably what happened when the Earth was first forming, as we know it today, probably there were volcanoes and earthquakes like mad, massive disruptions because the Earth was trying to, even itself out and find equilibrium. And it was spewing materials and cracking apart and trying to come together and shaping a ball, a sphere. It was trying to shape that. And so that's probably how the Earth really kind of started. It took millions and billions of years for we even to have a stable environment and climate, probably. And because, they say life, when did life begin? Well, you can't have the butterfly unless you first have the flowers. You can't have dinosaurs unless there's giant trees everywhere. And so things have to come first, and then life can appear. And then they say, what about humans? When did we come? Well, I'll tell you one thing, we needed a stable, relatively decent climate, not too cold, not too hot, not too chaotic before humans could even come. And they would come later, of course. First they would have fish, first they would have lizards, and then humans would appear later. And that's true. So I have my own idea where human life actually began on our planet. Well, you've heard of, like, in the Everglades, the boa constrictors have no predators, and they're eating all the wildlife, and they're thriving, doing great. Or these murder hornets, I guess, are torturing the poor little bees in America, and there was some pikes of some kind or some really fish that were in the Great Lakes eating all the local thriving. Well, I think this is what had happened, is that there were some aliens flying around space, and they had some pet humans, and they didn't have the heart to kill them. So they passed by the Earth and let them out. And we don't have any predators. We're on top. And next thing you know, we're taking over, eating everything, shitting everywhere. Yeah, I think the humans are invasive species. I think that's where it all began.